We raised the question over the weekend, is there going to be a starting job for Daniel Jones? And the answer is maybe, because it all comes down to how Anthony Richardson responds to this. His agent said yesterday that he's not going to request a trade, that he's ready to compete. And, yeah, fine. Let's see if this is the thing that spurs Anthony Richardson to take his job maybe a little more seriously than he has. And that's not a criticism. It's a reality of being in your early 20s. When I was in my early 20s, I had a job that I didn't take as seriously as I should have. I didn't take a lot of things in my early 20s as seriously as I should have because I was in my early 20s.
Right.
And I wanted to enjoy life as someone in his early 20s. That's just the way a lot of people are. At some point, though, it's time. It's time to mature. It's time to be a grown-up. I remember the moment it was for me that I kind of woke up and realized it's time to take things seriously. It's time to do things the right way. It's time to put in the work. You don't want to sit behind a desk and study. It's boring. Well, get ready to yawn a lot because you're going to do it. And I think that that's part of what Anthony Richardson's going to have to do. How he reacts to this is going to be critical to him and the Colts, but to him.
Right.
Because Daniel Jones will show up there
and be a professional
with a mission
every day. Right.
And do what he has to do to win that job. He's not there to support Anthony Richardson. He is there to put his butt on the bench. And Richardson's going to have to step up. And the Colts win either way. Because if you put all your faith in Richardson maturing without that external spark and he doesn't, you're screwed and everybody gets fired.
Right.
So now you need somebody who can come in and set the tone, and Richardson either steps up or steps off.
Yes, this is the perfect guy for the Colts. Now, I've talked about it from the Daniel Jones angle and like a guy that roots for him and some of the things that scare me a little bit. But for the Colts, this is perfection. Right, when we talked about this at the Combine, this was one of those things we kind of discussed when we heard news and like, oh, they're going to make it an open competition. Right, we didn't. Aaron Rodgers wasn't the guy that came to my mind going, oh, go to Indianapolis Colts. That won't be a competition. Aaron Rodgers comes into town. He's going to be the starter. That's going to be too much for Anthony Richardson to overcome, compete with whatever. This is the perfect guy. This is the perfect guy because of all the things we said. There's not this unbelievable aura around him. There's people that question how good Daniel Jones is, right? So he's not a world beater in terms of that conversation. And Anthony Richardson's not going to feel like, whoa, man, everybody's in Daniel Jones' corner. They're all rooting for him there. Oh, my gosh. So this does make it what the Colts wanted in a formulaic way as far as, wait, we got a guy in here that, like you said, saves our butt. He can play a little football, and hopefully he's not so good that it just squashes Anthony Richardson, and hopefully he's just good enough to get right there with Anthony Richardson where it brings Anthony Richardson's level, up 2-3 levels to where now we go, oh, damn, we are throwing above 50%. Damn, we do got a quarterback. Wow, look at us. We're explosive on offense. And from that standpoint, it's a great move. It's the perfect fit. The price, like you've talked about, all of that from the Colts standpoint is really, really awesome for them and what they need this year.
And we'll see what happens. The Colts have been on the fringes of contention the past couple of years. They haven't been horrible. The Texans haven't run away with the division.
Nope.
We just think it's the Texans and three crap teams. The Colts have been the team, took them all the way to the wire in 2023. It was a Saturday night game between the Colts and the Texans that determined the AFC South Championship. And last year, the Colts didn't go away quietly. They couldn't get it going, but they had Joe Flacco to pair with Anthony Richardson, and at some point they actually benched Anthony Richardson for Flacco, and now this year, who knows? Because when you have an open competition, you do basically have a situation where the guy who wins the job wins the right to be the first guy benched.
Well,
and that's what we could also see. With everyone under pressure in Indy, we could see revolving door at the quarterback position.
That's what I'm getting at here. That's why I don't love it for Daniel Jones, right? And this is where, as a guy that wants to root for Daniel Jones, I'm going to be like, I hope he loses the quarterback competition. I mean, that's kind of how I feel almost, right? Because Yeah, again, new team, all this. We don't know what the schedule is. They get off to a bumpy start. It's just going to be the Boo Birds all over him. And you have the number 4 pick that was supposed to be the franchise guy behind him, right? So there's going to be clamoring. Oh, we're 0-2. They brought Daniel Jones in here. Oh, he beat out Anthony Richardson. I mean, great job, Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen. Oh, my gosh, it's horrible. We want Anthony Richardson. Then that goes in. And now Daniel Jones is in a tough spot going forward. Right? That's where, like, in the perfect world, the formula of Minnesota of, like, hey, J.J. McCarthy starts, and if it doesn't go well and he hits the rookie bump or whatever, now you come in and save the day. And maybe that's what happens here with Anthony Richardson, and he doesn't, up his game, and maybe he plays and gets benched, and then Daniel Jones comes in and saves the day too. Maybe that happens. But that is what scares me for Daniel Jones going forward. And, yeah, in general for the Colts, you worry about that coming up a little bit with that revolving door.
One edge that Daniel Jones has, he kind of looks like what Google would show you if you did an AI, show me a Colts quarterback. Right? Like it's a little Peyton Manning, it's a little Eli Manning, it's a little dash of Tom Brady. He's got the Gaston neck. He looks like your dad a little bit. I mean, it's just Indiana, Middle America. I mean, it's just like he was like it was not built in a lab, but built by your laptop. That's Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I hear you.
And just like flatline, middle of the road, no personality. I'm not being critical. I'm just saying that's just he's just kind of been there for the last 5 or 6 years and doesn't bother anybody, doesn't cause any trouble, shows up for work, does what he's supposed to do. And here's the other wrinkle too. Will the Colts take calls on Richardson, and will they get calls on Richardson? Because I almost feel like the fact that it's an open competition tells you they've seen enough. They're welcoming someone else in to compete with the guy who was supposed to be their new franchise quarterback. And after 2 years, they're like, we don't know what to do with Anthony Richardson. Maybe someone will want him. And when you look at some of these teams, they're still kind of like, well, what are we going to do with quarterback here? You could do a lot worse than Anthony Richardson if you could get him to fully embrace life as an NFL quarterback and everything that goes along with it.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because I was just about to ask you this. This is where I wanted to go with the conversation. Yeah. I mean, do you think there'd be a market for Anthony Richardson? I kind of laughed at that yesterday when I heard that. Like, oh, I wonder if he'll get a trade request. There's not going to be like a big market for Anthony Richardson right now. Like you just said, there's too many unknowns. The play on the field is like, oh, wow, awesome throw. Throw. Oh, nice run. Throw. Oh, good throw. I mean, that's the way it is right now. So, and he's a project. And we're still sitting here going into, year 3, and he still hasn't played enough football. He's at the best spot possible. They're invested in him. That Shane Steichen took the job hoping he could grow this guy as a player. Chris Ballard's invested in him. He's in the spot, but it hasn't been smooth. But yeah, I mean, when I heard like he might request a trade or those murmurs were out there, I just thought, wow, why would he do that? That's crazy. And there's not going to be a trade market for Anthony Richardson. At least that was my thought, Mike. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.